newsletters. And then for the direct mail part, I did it before from a company I worked before, food delivery service. So yes, we do direct mail there. But for Mostella, my current company, what we do is more of send off newsletters. For our newsletters, what we do is we post our discounts there. And then apart from the discounts, they get a distinct voucher code, which they can use either on our physical stores or our online e-commerce platforms. And then what we do para mas lalong for them to be more engaging in the post is, if you want to send us your information, we also get something from it. So if you want to send us your information, we would give you freebies.
Our product is a traditional one, insurance. So it's something that you have to do formally. One thing also is most of the clientele and profile are those na A-B profile. So more of them are in tune into using email. Yes, we do direct email for them because it's something that we know that they would read talaga. So what we usually do is we send out an email. There's a report that would come back to tell us if it, for example, is something that haven't been read. If it hasn't been read, we send out an SMS, a follow-through. So it's better kasi that everything kasi would be sent on different modes depending on the client's options or preference.
When you do direct mail kasi, it's more of you wanting to have direct contact with the customers. Say, for example, you have a brochure or a flyer or a newsletter that has a distinct voucher code. So you know that the customer is can respond to you or can respond to your brand or can purchase using that strategy. So that's when you use that strategy.
It's based on what's the profile. Kasi for example, like with the one that we have right now, since they have access to smartphones, so more or less they would be having access to email, to internet, to data. So looking at who they are and the enablers that they have, so that's the thing that we have to look for, kung ano yung gagamitin mo na strategy and enablers for them, for us to be able to give them the message that we want to provide.
Actually, any company naman can use this strategy so long as you want direct communication with your customers. So what's good about this strategy din kasi is that you can have tangible results. You can measure the results of if it's working or not. Before kasi I used to work for an app. So we have this weekly newsletters that we send. Before we send it, I think for 5 times a week, because of course marketing is a trial and error process. So we send it 5 times a week, and the customers would opt out of getting newsletters because they would feel that it's a spam already or nakukulitan na sila. So what we did was we tried to do it twice a week, and then from there we added like perks to the strategy. Like we added discount vouchers, we added like freebies, So from there they stopped opting out of it. Before you do that, you have to understand your market. So you have to understand who buys your products, or who basically is who patronizes your products. So sino talaga yung gumagamit, why do they use it, and then from there, what we do is we put up offline events, on-ground events. We sponsor on schools, we sponsor on hospitals, and then if they leave their information, we give them samples or freebies. So that's where we get their information. But we have that option that they could check the sign-up sheet if they would want to receive newsletters from us about privacy.
In terms of choosing the people, it depends on what type of message or information you want to provide. If it's something that's informative or it is something that is service related, you really have to send it to all. If it's something that's promotional or a campaign or a tactical, you have to target it because it's not a one thing for everybody, diba?
As much as possible, not as often as we'd want to. It's more of a campaign base right now. So what we do is at least twice a week or at least once a week. We don't want them kasi to annoy them too much of getting so much emails from us. And then we also do like text blasts or social media. In our brand right now, what we do is we implement the O2O initiative. It's online to offline and offline to online initiative. So the customers, what we notice kasi from our distribution chart is we get more customers ordering online, but we have more stores offline. So we want the customers online to go offline as well, or the offline customers to go and try buying online. So we try to play with the strategy, like direct mailing them, and then start giving them the option na you got this online, so you can use it offline, something like that. Or if they get the brochure from our event, they can use it online. So we try to balance out the sales. So for us, kasi we have our KPI, we have our targets. Like say, for example, we released 1,000 brochures to this event. We would need a conversion rate to measure it. So the conversion rate would be how much people would use the voucher code or the distinct code that we would give them. So that's how we measure how effective it is. Or say, for example, we would send them newsletters that said it's buy two, take one at this specific store. We would measure how much really purchased from that store.
Okay. Do you know the conversion rate for your newsletters right now?
Right now, we're at our KPI is at 2%, but the conversion rate is at 5%. Usually, kasi the target would be 2 to 5% talaga of how much you produce.
Is this for direct mail lang po or for most strategies?
Both.
Again, it depends on what type of the campaign. But initially, for example, what we want to measure is if that message was they were able to receive that message. So the first hurdle kasi is for them to really open the email. For example, if it's informative, it could be until the click-through rate. But if it's something that you have other targets pa, like a sale or registration to the event, you also have to measure that.
Usually, the main problem is people opting out of receiving those mail. Talaga. Again, apart from messaging them less, it's more of making the promotion more appealing or making it like you want to really clickbait them. For example, the trend right now is funds. So we try to play with the words, make it like, or the trend right now are who what's, right? So that's where we try to communicate with them. Just to basically understand how they communicate with us, say the language that they speak, and then that's how we communicate with them. Para at least we are relatable.
So the difficulty there is for you to get through the bulk of emails that they get. It should be something that should be catchy, and there's difficulty in profiling if the data back end is not complete. So that's another thing that we have to look at. We have been going through different types of campaigns, and then we do it in phases. So for example, for phase 1, as for example, let's say it's a quarter, a 3-month thing, we try to check afterwards what can we do to increase the sale or to increase the click-through rate. I'm lucky, fortunate enough that with Sunlight, we're given a chance to test and to check and tweak if needed to see if there would be dips or peaks if we do that. So at least we know the next time that we have another campaign, we can kind of look at those and be our benchmark. I know you are creative people. It may be creative in sort of the visual way or in verbal, written way. So just do your thing and be open to advice, or let's say criticism naman that would help you improve your craft. The 18 years old, mga young ones are technically idealistic, but if things don't turn out your way, just do what you think would be best for you. Go to a training, see what's the good point that has been said to you in such concerns, or if there are criticisms, take it in a positive light, and then just have fun.
I would say that it should really be your passion. If it's really not your passion and you don't enjoy what you do, it's really an exhausting job. I have to be honest. It has so much pressure. I don't want to badmouth the industry, but it's really so much pressure because your job is to make people fall in love with a certain product or brand that you are selling. And once they fall in love, that's when you understand that it's all worth it. But if not, then hindi sure, I guess. So it really